Once upon a time, in the beautiful village of Umuoma, there lived a handsome young prince named Chijoke. Prince Chijoke was the only son of King Obiora and Queen Amoka, rulers of the great kingdom. The prince was kind-hearted, and everyone in the village loved him, but he was also very picky. He could have anything he wanted, yet he always felt something was missing in his life. One sunny afternoon, as the prince was riding his horse through the bustling market, the smell of roasted plantains filled the air. The prince's stomach growled, and he decided to stop by the roadside where a young girl was selling plantains. Her name was Amara, and she was known as the best plantain seller in the whole village. She had a bright smile, sparkling eyes, and a warm personality that made everyone like her. "Good afternoon, my prince," Amara greeted with a shy smile. Prince Chijoke smiled back. "Good afternoon. Can I have some of your plantains?" Amara quickly wrapped a few plantains in a leaf and handed them to him. As Prince Chijoke tasted the first bite, he was amazed at how delicious it was. He couldn't help but smile at Amara, and something in his heart felt different. "Your plantains are the best I've ever tasted," he exclaimed. Amara giggled softly. "Thank you, my prince. I roast them with care." From that day on, the prince visited the market every afternoon, just to buy plantains from Amara. They began talking and laughing together, sharing stories about their lives. Amara told him about her dreams, and Prince Chijoke, for the first time, felt understood by someone who wasn't royal. Slowly, the prince started to fall in love with Amara, and she with him. But their love was kept secret. They knew that the villagers and the royal family would never approve. As weeks went by, the villagers began to notice how much time the prince spent with Amara. Rumors spread like wildfire. "Why is the prince always with that plantain seller?" they whispered. "Doesn't he know she's just a common girl?" One day, the prince's best friend, Uche, confronted him. "Chijoke, why are you spending so much time with Amara? She's just a plantain seller. You're a prince, you deserve better." Prince Chijoke sighed. "Uche, you don't understand. Amara is kind, smart, and genuine. I love her." Uche's eyes widened. "But your parents will never agree. A prince cannot marry a commoner, especially not a plantain seller." The prince knew Uche was right, but he couldn't control his heart. He decided to keep his love for Amara a secret for as long as possible, hoping that one day, his parents would understand. One stormy evening, during a village festival, King Obiora and Queen Amoka noticed their son missing. They searched the palace and asked the guards, but no one had seen him. Suddenly, one of the palace servants whispered, "Your Majesties, I heard the prince was at the market with Amara, the plantain seller." Furious and worried, the king and queen rode to the market, and there they saw Prince Chijoke laughing with Amara under a small umbrella, sharing roasted plantains. The king's face turned red with anger. "Chijoke!" King Obiora shouted. "What are you doing here with this common girl?" Prince Chijoke stood up quickly, his heart pounding. "Father, mother, this is Amara, and I love her." The villagers, who had gathered to watch, gasped in shock. The king was furious. "You are a prince. You cannot love a plantain seller. She is beneath you." Amara's eyes filled with tears. She knew this moment would come, but she wasn't prepared for how much it would hurt. "Father, please," Prince Chijoke pleaded. "Amara is not just a plantain seller. She is kind, brave, and she understands me better than anyone." But the king would not listen. He ordered his guards to take Amara away. As they dragged her off, Amara cried out, "Chijoke, please don't forget me." Back at the palace, the king and queen were furious. They forbade Chijoke from ever seeing Amara again. Heartbroken, The prince stayed in his room for days, refusing to eat or speak to anyone. He couldn't believe that his parents would not accept the girl he loved. Meanwhile, Amara was also heartbroken. She was kept away from the market, and her family warned her to stay away from the prince. But Amara was hiding a secret, one that even the prince didn't know. Amara wasn't just any plantain seller. She was secretly the daughter of a billionaire businessman who had lost everything after a tragic accident. To survive, Amara's family moved to the village, where they lived humbly, hiding their true identity. She had always known that one day, she would have to return to her wealthy world, but she didn't want that life. She wanted to be free and happy. Weeks later, a grand celebration was announced in the kingdom. A wealthy businessman was visiting the village to discuss a big project with the king. It was Amara's father, Mr. Ease, who had finally regained his wealth and wanted to give back to the village. The entire village was invited to the feast, and the king and queen were eager to impress their important guest. As everyone gathered in the palace courtyard, Mr. Ease stepped forward to greet the king and queen. But when the prince saw Amara standing beside her father, dressed in a beautiful gown, he was stunned. "Amara?" Prince Chijoke whispered, shocked. "Yes, my prince," Amara said, smiling shyly. "I am Amara Ease, the daughter of Mr. Ease." The king and queen were speechless. The plantain seller they had looked down upon was actually from a wealthy and powerful family. They felt ashamed of how they had treated her. Prince Chijoke turned to his parents. "You see, it's not about where someone comes from or what they do. It's about who they are inside. I love Amara, not because of her wealth, but because of her heart." Realizing their mistake, the king and queen apologized to Amara. They gave their blessing for her and the prince to be together, and the villagers cheered, happy that their kind-hearted prince had found true love. But what they didn't know was that this was only the start of a new adventure, filled with more secrets and challenges that would test their love. The villagers watched closely, eager to see what would happen next in the love story of the prince and the once humble plantain seller. To be continued.